with this guided meditation, I'm just going to go through the main benefits for self-inquiry and non-duality and meditating. One of the primary benefits is that we stop seeking achievement in terms of spiritual or self-help practices, because there's an understanding that really fundamentally what we are is already free. We are that awareness. It's just a misunderstanding, looking into an illusion rather than looking at the truth. So really there's nothing to become. And to get to this point, what you have to do is meditate on the truth, which is seeing through the illusion, meditating on the fact that this is just a dream. Everything is really just a dream. And what gets you to that point, the point where you no longer accept material comfort as a kind of way of fulfilling your sense of self and your purpose, and you no longer seek for ego gratification in terms of trying to win and getting that sense of fulfillment through competition and proving something to yourself or other people. This is all seen through as a very basic way of behaving. And the way to get to that, the primary way, is through holding the truth in mind and understanding that being a person is just an illusion. And this really is the secret of suffering and going through a dark night of the soul, is that through years and years of frustration and pain we're taught and we learn that there is no real refuge in the world. There really is no lasting happiness. It's just pleasure and then pain and then pleasure and then pain. And once we've woken up to this cycle, we can finally have some maturity and spiritual sobriety and take the reins and say that enough is enough. I'm not going to buy into this lie that I've been taught by the media and the world around me, especially in the West, that somehow championing the individual is going to fulfill my sense of self, and that this me culture is somehow going to help me. And the great joy of our time is that we have these things around us, this technology which is allowing us to spread this wisdom quickly and easily and dispel the ignorance that is so prevalent in our world. And seeing through the illusion, especially that is championed so much of being an individual and winning and other people losing, and which is destroying our planet. Non-duality is a big part of that, because you dissolve that idea and you understand that fundamentally you are everything. Everything is consciousness, and that's what you are. Your true nature is to be the field of everything. And to get to that place, we see through the illusion, which is easy to do. That's the amazing thing about this, is that it's not as difficult as we may have been led to believe. It's really not a big deal to become free, because it is what you already are. There isn't really any becoming free. It's really just understanding that there's an illusion and you see through it. Just like seeing in a film that the character is just a character. You watch them in an interview afterwards. You watch them in a different film, and you understand that it's not really real at all. You watch them put on the makeup. You watch them die in the movie. But then they're in another film or in an interview afterwards, and they're alive and well. So there's a deep understanding that it's just make-believe. And it's the same with the world around us, Fundamentally, in a physical and practical way, without any spirituality, the world is just an illusion. There's been an agreement from the times of when we were roaming the earth in nomadic tribes that we would create these settlements and create these buildings and create these clothes and this paper we call money, and we've agreed to call these things suits and skyscrapers and banks, and we've forgotten that at one point we were free and we all created these things, and we've forgotten that fundamentally we are already free of these things. And then in a spiritual way, so with self-inquiry, what we want to do is really ask, who is it that is experiencing right now? Who is it that is feeling these experiences within this illusion? And so we understand that the person is really, the storyline is seen through. The person is not really here as an entity, as a person that we've described. It's really just situations that vary from moment to moment. Their thoughts arise randomly and we identify with them through the language of using an I and a me. And really seeing this, there's a fundamental shift away from identifying with thoughts and feelings and experiences and memories and future projections. And there's a deep stillness and calmness, because all of these emotional things of thinking about what you should have said or what you shouldn't have said, or how you should behave, or the emotional sense of agency really is dissolved, because it's seen that whatever arises, and there really is fundamentally no free will. And the way to get to that is to meditate on the truth that really who you are, there is no who you are. There is only what you are, which is just pure consciousness. And once you're introduced and you've spent time thinking about this and meditating on these qualities and the truth, you understand that this is just the way things are. And your mind gravitates towards it, your brain and everything goes towards that peace and starts to understand that that's where all the peace is, and you get used to the peace and the calmness until it just becomes your normal way of being. To go back to being obsessed with this sense of self, this self-consciousness, is impossible because you've seen through the illusion now. There's an understanding that really all you are is awareness. You are awareness, that's all you are. And it takes repeating, it takes sometimes years of repeating to get to this understanding, because there's been a lifetime of thinking that you're a person in an adult body interacting with people. And sometimes the world will draw you back into believing through interactions with other people. But the truth will keep coming for you because you're interested in it. It will find you, and the truth shall set you free.